I used to be the biggest fan of SpongeBob as a kid. I bought Nickelodeon merch and other things from them. I grew up into a teenager. I went through a garage sale with my mom. I spotted an old VHS tape with the label Cold. I was looked on the back and it had the label Reblower in Sharpie written off. I always loved nostalgic, and I realized I never had the tape. I asked my mom. She said, "Sure, sweetie." I asked the old man who I bought it from where he got it. He told the man he got it from the thrift store 6 years ago, which was a copy of an episode from Nickelodeon. The employee sold it. That they didn't want it anymore, and apparently it's supposed to be a version. Apparently it's supposed to be a version with dialogue. I knew the episode didn't have never had dialogue, but I heard it was intended to be full voice, but equipment failed because the episode was meant to be silent. I was curious to what it would be like with dialogue, so I took the tape home. My little brother was gonna come over anyway, so I watched it with him. He was around 5.5 at the time. I slipped the tape in and turned it on. I gave my little bro some popcorn and we watched some Orange Crush. The episode started with a normal intro before translating the title card. The title card said "Cold" with spiderwebs and a noose in the background. I was extremely confused. Why the hell would there be a noose in the show meant for kids? The unsettling part was the music, which was normally cheerful, had become raspy in reverse. Plus, this wasn't supposed to happen. Wasn't it supposed to be reblowers? The bubble slash transition played as usual. Now SpongeBob was at Patrick's house with very cheerful music playing. Patrick and SpongeBob were having a small conversation until they got into a small argument. The argument graduated into a fist fight. I just thought it was another normal episode, but it was a mistake for leaf blower. Copy. That was until something shocking happened. SpongeBob said, "Patrick, you are nothing but a little piece of shit, slime and scary ass, sock a cock." I was appalled. My little brother only got one of the stories, but he refused to leave. When I told him to get out of the living room so I could review this myself. Anyway, Patrick stood in shock. Tears filled his eyes, frowned, and yelling, "Fuck you, you son of a bitch!" They both stormed off as Squidward watched laughing. SpongeBob went to his house and Patrick stormed into his rock. The bubble transition appeared and it showed Patrick sitting in his tube. There was no sound, not even the sound of Patrick blinking. He sat there with a cut on his face and a bloody razor blade beside him, and sitting in a puddle of what looks like piss and some cocaine. You can even see Patrick's private parts. I gasped, and this time I demanded my brother leave the room. He left the room, screaming and crying. My mom was outside doing yard work and planting tulips. I continued to watch, and Patrick's eyes were black voids. The tears were very realistic and showed slowly fade to a tint of crimson, then turned to blood. I was horrified. He stormed out of the tub with a shotgun. He went to SpongeBob's house with blood flowing from his eyes. SpongeBob opened the door and screamed. Patrick backed him up towards the wall with a gun. His head was his head. Patrick let out the demonic growl as a pink finger slowly went onto the trigger. "I thought we were friends, but now, no. Now, any last words? You demanded a cut." SpongeBob's sad with realistic tear running from his face off his nose. He said, "Burn in hell, you realistic monster." As he knew he was gonna die, Patrick said, "Fuck you too." Then he pulled the trigger. SpongeBob's body collapsed onto the floor with realistic blood and tissues splattering on the wall, dripping onto the floor. I yelled in shock. Patrick laughed necessarily, but not as a normal laugh. It was demonic. The color inverted. The screen went to static. With another scene of Squidward with his eyes open, his body mutilated. His intro was 4 feet away from him. It lasted for about 4 seconds before fading to black. Then a static screen, which splashed with blood for a second. Then it showed 4 seconds of Sandy's tail chopped off her body and hanging from a tree. I started shaking violently. I felt sick to my stomach. I vomited some popcorn in my mouth, but I held it back. It showed a frame of a Patrick face his eyes void with blood, tears are streaming from them, with a demonic laugh. The image of him staring at the viewer lasted 10 seconds before the screen turned to static, flashing. Then it showed the Patrick on the stool with a rope in his hand, tying a noose. It panned to another split screen that showed Patrick hating there, his pale body, his body pale and looking cold. There was a kid screaming in the background, which I thought was outside. I grabbed a baseball bat. It was silent. Then the episode ended like a normal episode. Then the calming credit music. I knew I was not gonna sleep that night. I grabbed the VHS tape and had to take it back and had Mom take it back. Angry at the review in it, she took it to Nickelodeon studio. She got a phone call. 7 hours later, they said they expected everything, and they said it aired at 3 p.m. in California 4 times every year for 6 years, but they weren't sure why it did. It never showed any evidence of the episode ever airing, despite them accounts from a few unlucky people who saw the episode when it aired. They got a phone call about it, but they ignored it and thought it was a hoax until my mom turned it into them. To this day, I'm only starting to watch SpongeBob again. I have a current nightmare from it. I'm just happy my little brother left, or he'd been scarred for life. No one knew who made it or what the origin was, but it was still very scary. And I'm glad that my little brother had left before he got traumatized.